Hello, my name's Nostradamus, and welcome once again to Phone Age News. Well, I've got a cracking show lined up for you today. I'm going to start at news.com.au, talking about all this protest that's going on all around the world as civilization falls apart. Spain, Chile, used to be called Chile when I was young, they call it Chile now. Hong Kong, Lebanon, all rocked by violent protests. It's been chaos on the streets of numerous cities around the world as angry citizens take to the streets to protest against inequality, injustice, price rises and
Streets
corruption.
in Barcelona were ablaze on Friday night as hundreds of protesters battled with police in the heart of Spain's most visited city. Fiery barricades were set up and rocks hurled at security forces. It was the fifth day of unrest following the jailing of Catalan separatist leaders. Masked youths blocked a road close to the city's police headquarters. They set fire to large garbage bins and threw stones, cans and bottles towards security forces.
That's a bloody mess, isn't it? Spain, Barcelona, paralysed by days of protests after a group of Catalan separatist leaders were jailed. Not very happy about that. The police won't stand for no nonsense. In Chile, at least 11 people have been killed in violent protests that paralysed Chile's capital, Santiago. What they're mourning about? Increasing subway fares. Oh, but it's hard done by, aren't they? The world's turning into a world of snowflakes. Oh, I'm not happy. I'm going to protest. Good God. Lebanon facing escalating mass protests. Oh dear, look at all them. Anti-government protesters shout slogans against the Lebanese government about the government's plans to impose new taxes. Bloody hell. Hong Kong. Been going on 5 months now and it's getting worse. UK. To 1 million Britons marched through London to demand a new Brexit referendum, celebrating as MPs voted to postpone Britain's departure from the EU. It's a joke. They hold another referendum, as long as the people that voted leave last time don't give up and turn out again, they'll just be the same. Not a democracy. And the so-called liberals, they say they'd keep us in Europe after we voted to come out. Good old Boris. He just wants to get it done, whether it be in Parliament, back of a limousine, or over the kitchen table. He's not bothered. Ecuador. United Nations is sending a team of investigators to Ecuador following an invitation from the government to investigate alleged violations committed during 12 days of deadly protests. Everywhere. And BBC News reporting on worldwide protests. Where's that? Oh, that's Chile again. Sent the tanks in there. Bloody hell. Lebanon. What are they moaning about there? Corruption and austerity in Lebanon. Hundreds of thousands of people been on the streets. New taxes. Power cuts and uncollected rubbish are also a source of anger for protesters. She's nice. Barcelona again. Haiti. It's not getting as much attention as demonstrations in other countries recently, but Haiti has been going through weeks of protest, not for the first time this year, over an economic crisis unfolding on the Caribbean island. So the world's economy is about to crash. Because the poor are getting poorer everywhere. And there's not enough money to go around. All the fat bastards are swallowing up all the money. Belfast. Well, they've been protesting about abortion rights. Hong Kong again. Another website. BusinessInsider.com. A world on fire. All the major protests happening around the globe right now. Hong Kong again. A criminal code in Indonesia led to protests against its draconian laws, and the president's second term faces ongoing dissent. He's either very brave or very stupid, or both. In the Netherlands, thousands of Dutch farmers continue to clog highways with their tractors. Look at that. Farmers block the A28 highway with their tractors between Hogeveen and Meppel on October the 1st during a national protest of farmers. On October the 15th, the Dutch police closed off the Hague's central Parliament Square to protesting farmers on tractors, the third such recent protest. Why, you've got a brand new combine harvester, I'll give you the key. Several protests are ongoing in France, including an almost year-long movement by Yellow Jacket demonstrators. Anything else? Peruvians are blockading access to copper mines, while confusion surrounding the president's government persists. I don't think there's any country immune. Just total bear down a Law and Order. There's Haiti again. Look at that. There's this. Hundreds of thousands of Lebanese citizens are protesting government corruption Oh, corrupt. I don't think there's many leaders in the world now that aren't. Syria's Kurdish population is protesting the removal of American troops. Well, I don't blame them for protesting, but not going to do them any good, is it? Not going to make them come back. Protests are expected to erupt in Iraq against Prime Minister Abdul Mahdi's government. In Israel, there are protests focused on police inaction in violence against Israeli Arabs. Sorry. I'm sure there's more. Chile again. And I'm not even mentioning Extinction Rebellion protesting all over the world. Here in the UK, we've got that many protests going on about so many different things. People's even started protesting against the protesters. If you're thinking of starting a protest or joining a protest movement, I've got a handy little book that you should read to stay safe whilst you're doing your protest, trying to keep it peaceful. And this is it: The Guide to Peaceful Protests by Barry Cage. Coming very useful if you've got fuck all better to do on a Saturday afternoon. Lots of interesting little stories this week on allthat'sinteresting.com, but I've picked this one out. The world's most fertile woman, Mariam Nabatanzi, birthed 44 children by the time she was 36. The Ugandan mother of 38 surviving kids had an immensely difficult childhood of her own. All she wants is for her children to go to school, have enough food, and help around the house. There she is, 40-year-old mother, and 12 of her children take a rest in front of one of their 4 houses. Her youngest daughter, Sudisha, sits on her lap, and that was in 2017. There's nothing more important than family, which this Ugandan mother of 44 has certainly taken to heart, according to 7 News. She's given birth to 4 sets of twins, 5 sets of triplets, and 5 quadruplets by the time she was 36. Doctors have since prevented her from birthing any more. Jesus, she's like a packet of fucking Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. Unfortunately, her unreliable husband, who was 40 when he married her, left Nabatanzi and their 38 surviving kids 4 years ago to fend for themselves. He must have got fed up. He must have had enough. He's only got himself to blame. He should have put something on the end of it. Now I've got a proper treat for you now. This is a video that my daughter took last night. I'm not going to say anything about it. You can just watch it and make your own minds up about it. I've already made my mind up. So we'll just watch it at full speed. She zooms in and out. This was about 5:30 in the morning, when there's not many people about, over the Liverpool area. Here we go. Here it is in slow-mo. She said it hovered there for about 40 minutes. Stationary in the sky. What the fuck? Now come back down to earth and have a look how the ice is doing on Polar Portal. There's been a recent tweet only about Switzerland glaciers. Not a good picture. Glacier ice volume. In Switzerland has decreased from about 70 to 50 cubic kilometres since the year 2000. So not just in Switzerland, this is glaciers all over the planet. Red numbers show years with more than 2% volume loss. The frequency of such catastrophic years is obviously increasing. Also, this summer has been hard for our glaciers. It's lost more than 10% of what was left in 2015 in the last 4 years. It's just boiling off. Lots of information on here. On Polar Portal. Easy to find website if you want to check all that stuff out. It's distressing. Sea ice and icebergs. Thickness and volume. See where we are up to date. As you can see, the ice is facing an impossible task of getting anywhere near normal. That's never gonna refreeze anything like this winter. Record low ice. Oh, fuck. I had a look at the methane concentrations last weekend, as I do every weekend, and overall it suggested that it had dropped by 1.3 parts per billion, with only a slight drop of 0.2 parts per billion at 300 millibars. But I don't trust the figures that they're giving us. For instance, here's the measurements I've recorded from the METOP 2 afternoon satellite for the past 3 weeks at different altitudes in the atmosphere, and they've all been identical. Now, the odds against that happening purely by chance is millions and millions. You've more chance of winning the lottery. Very highly suspicious to me. Need to borrow a certain button off a certain person again, I think. You know what I mean? Here's the latest news from Spain on floodlist.com. Deadly floods in Catalonia after 287 millimetres of rain in 24 hours. Well, that'll give the fucking protesters somewhere else moan about the fucking weather. Severe weather has once again hit parts of Spain, with storms and flooding reported in the Catalonia region. At least 2 people have died and 3 are missing. Bloody hell. That's severe, that, isn't it? Oh, we've got the precipitación acumulada. That means accumulated rainfall in Spanish. For total, it's not just like in one spot. You know, like Boscastle, just in one spot. It's everywhere. Widespread flooding. Oh, I'll click on here while we're here. Bombers. Yeah, it's flooded. Flooded, alright. Bloody hell. It's terrible, isn't it? It's not just Spain, though, is it? This is 23rd of October, brand new. Egypt, heavy rain causes flood chaos in Cairo. India, deadly floods in Karnataka after days of heavy rain. Ooh, fancy a nice Indian for me tea. Lovely chicken tikka. Yeah. It's just like a chicken tikka, except it's a little hotter. Somalia, over 70,000 displaced as rivers overflow. Sri Lanka, floods and landslides leave 5 dead. Still on the 23rd. Everywhere at the same time. South Sudan, all over the place. 800,000 affected by floods, says the United Nations. Oh, we go back a day. Italy, flash floods and landslides after 250 millimetres of rain in 12 hours. It's not normal, is it? Vietnam, deadly floods in central provinces. Turkey, flash floods hit Gaziantep. Niger, thousands affected by floods in Diffa region. Uganda, hundreds homeless after floods in eastern and western regions. Russia, deadly floods after, oh yeah, that was after that dam collapse. That's not the weather related, that's human error. Back to the 19th. Ghana, floods caused devastation in Upper East region. Uruguay, Hundreds displaced by floods in 5 departments. South Sudan, 200,000 hit by unprecedented flooding, says United Nations. Guatemala, hundreds of homes damaged after floods and landslides. Next, it just goes on and on and on and on. Now, we're going to have a look at Earth Today. I'm going to end with this story reported on by CNET, amongst other websites. Google quantum computer leaves old school supercomputers in the dust. The era of practical quantum computers has begun, at least on one speed test showing quantum supremacy. A Google quantum computer has far outpaced ordinary computing technology, an achievement called quantum supremacy that's an important milestone for a revolutionary way of processing data. Google disclosed the results in the journal Nature on Wednesday. The achievement came after more than a decade of work at Google, including the use of its own quantum computing chip called Sycamore. Our machine performed the target computation in 200 seconds, and from measurements in our experiments, we determined that it would take the world's fastest supercomputer 10,000 years to produce a similar output, Google researchers said in a blog post about the work. The news, which leaked into the limelight in September with a premature paper publication, offers evidence that quantum computers could break out of research labs and head toward mainstream computing. They could perform important work like creating new materials, designing new drugs at the molecular level, optimizing financial investments, and speeding up delivery of packages. And the quantum computing achievement comes as progress with classical computers as measured by the speed of general-purpose processors and charted by Moore's law, has sputtered. You never know, they might even save the planet. Whoops, too late. So that's it for now. Just managed to squeeze another video in before the shit hits the fan. I must stress that my daughter's video is totally genuine. May the shepherd strike me down tomorrow. Honest truth. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Stay tuned for my next one. If there's time, take care, look after each other. Goodbye.